Welcome back, everyone. Today's courtroom exchange is about one of the hottest issues in America right now: diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. Now, here's the twist. While many believe these programs were designed to uplift marginalized communities, critics argue the true beneficiaries may surprise you. Stick around, because what you're about to hear is going to flip your perspective on who DEI is really serving.
I did want to just ask a little bit about if you could speak on the DEI programs and why you think that they are racist.
Right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, if you look at the results of how it has been implemented, it mostly benefits who? Who do you think it benefits?
People with low income or...
What race?
Usually the ones that have been discriminated for so long, so it could be anyone from African American, Hispanics, honestly, like any race with low income. It could be anyone.
So do you think the intent of diversity, equity, inclusion, and the intent and outcome are consistent, right? Do you think that intent and outcome mean they want this to happen and it is happening through the implementation of diversity, equity, inclusion? Do you think that those two things are congruent? Let's just say you think that it is. Would it shock you for me to tell you that it isn't? The people who benefit the most from diversity, equity, inclusion are white women. Would that shock you?
No.
But I thought diversity, equity, inclusion is to include minority groups, meaning that people who are discriminated against openly, which are black people, which in some cases are minorities that people believe that are discriminated against. You would think diversity, equity, inclusion are benefiting minority groups, when in fact they're not. They're benefiting white women more than any other group, which is probably the least minority group in the world, in the country. I'm saying that what we should do, instead of saying, I need more black people, right? Whether they're as qualified or not, we should not do that, because that creates racism and division and frustration amongst people who are qualified. What we should do is say, if we have a lack of diversity in this particular field, how about we help kids from the time they're in school and elementary to be qualified to equally compete, not throw them into the fray. We saw this happen at universities when it comes to affirmative action. A lot of African American and minorities who are less qualified, that they give scholarships to or they put them at universities, they end up dropping out of school because they're not qualified. But it satisfied their quota by saying we have black people more, but they're not qualified and they're dropping out of school. Instead of setting them up for failure to bolster this virtue signal of having minority representation, how about you make sure the schools are adequate enough that minorities can compete? When you are thwarting the opportunity of somebody who worked hard because they're white, because they don't fit the minority description, that's wrong. People should be equally qualified and compete. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I don't think that's what's happening with DEI. They're discriminating against people. They're saying we need more Hispanic people at the University of Texas. And so a bunch of qualified people who are white, who are native, or whatever you name it, they are overlooked because they need more Hispanic, because they need a number, not necessarily because these people are effectively earning the position. Maybe in its intent, I don't know, I think the intentions were wrong. But maybe in its intent, it meant to go one way, but it's not filtering the way that people think. When you look at the people who are protesting against DEI being eliminated, who are they? Black people. Al Sharpton came out and said, we're going to boycott Target. We're going to boycott this.
Did you catch that? The jaw dropper here is the claim that DEI programs disproportionately benefit white women, not the minority groups they were supposedly created to support. And if you're wondering, the data backs this up in many cases. Courts often review whether outcomes match intent, and when they don't, it raises big questions about fairness, discrimination, and whether the entire framework needs reform. Let me ask you, do you think DEI is helping the right people, or is it all smoke and mirrors?
People aren't even benefiting from DEI. It's all a farce. Instead of people doing what they're supposed to do to protect people in their youth, and making sure schools are equal and they're educating kids, they are neglecting that, and they're handling it on the back end. And I don't think that's the way we should be doing in society.
Yeah, and I honestly, I do agree with what you're saying of like we should be helping them from the start, but in this world that's not like we can't say all of our ideal like pictures, like not everything's working out, but DEI was supposed to do that, and it was like DEIA for like even anyone that has like any like needs more accessibility to programs or like more things. And I don't know why we're cutting off programs that are still in some way, shape, or form helping like with these like low income families, people who can't afford college, people that like need the help. It did still benefit and help a lot of good people that truthfully did need it, you know?
Right, I kind of get what you're saying, but what program specifically are you aware of here that was eliminated, and what effects do you think it had?
Yeah, so for example, like the first generation programs, or even like a lot of the people that like need scholarships or grants, all those things got like removed and taken off, and a lot of the grants of like a lot of the like spending just got cut for like people that needed the money. And so I don't know, I think that shouldn't have been deleted and just taken everything recklessly out of the table.
Yeah, I think that I get your point. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just a little leery at trying to manufacture equality. Mm-hmm. This is what happened in the civil rights era. Mm-hmm. This is what happened in Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. The government implemented laws to separate the races. I don't think that was the will of the people. The government thought they knew what was best, so they implement Jim Crow laws, separate but equal laws, which hurt people. I think the government should not be involved in this stuff. This is what I would argue. This is what I do for my children. I do what's best to the capacity of what God has blessed me with. And I try to help my children in the process to get the best outcome that they possibly can get out of the life that they've been given. I don't need them to get a handout. I don't need them to get funding. I'm gonna put them in a position that's best for them, and they gotta chart their own path.
Yeah. Going
to the university isn't the end all be all. If you can't get into the university because you don't have the money, you can go get a job. Mm-hmm. In many cases, and I hate to say this, most people here are being scammed because they're not gonna use their degree whatsoever. And they may have been better off going and working in the field in which they're passionate about and gaining experience and building relationships than being at a university and coming out with no connection. So it's not the end of the world to be introduced to the university if you can't afford it. It's okay to go and work a job. It's okay to be an entrepreneur. It's okay to start a business. And as a community, it's better for you to help your community than ask the government to interject, because they never do it properly, and it always yields a false result. I bet a lot of people who voted for diversity, equity, inclusion were black, minorities, and others who wanted this to happen, and it didn't even benefit them. Because you cannot manufacture equality. It has to be something societally pushed, and it has to be individuals taking accountability for their own lives. I don't need a handout. I don't need anybody's money. I don't want people to base what they do for me or against me on the color of my skin. Just get out my way and let me chart my own path. I may not be a billionaire. That's may not what God has called for me to be. But the goal is for people to maximize the potential in what they have in themselves. Not everybody's gonna go to the University of Texas. They're not qualified. Not everybody's gonna go to college. They can go to junior college. What's wrong with going to junior college? You know, not everybody, maybe you should go to trade school instead of going to college at all. I mean, my college experience was good, but I had a free scholarship. I played football. So I can do whatever I want to do. I can study whatever I want to study. I didn't even use my degree. If I didn't have that plaque, I forget what I studied. I don't remember half of that stuff at school. My experiences post-college was more beneficial than my experiences in college when it comes to learning about money, building a business, all of those things. So we should not leverage the government to force diversity on people. People need to take responsibility for themselves, take responsibility for their community, and make themselves qualified so they can compete. And I like that method better than the government implementing things against the will of the people.
And there it is, a fiery argument that government-engineered equality doesn't work and that true opportunity has to come from personal accountability and community-driven support. Whether you agree or not, this case highlights the tension between ideals of fairness and the reality of policy and action. Now I've got to ask, if you were sitting in that courtroom, whose side would you be on? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.